In the New Testament, while the New Testament has, by comparison, only a handful of passages that can be considered purely prophetic in nature, that is, the Olivet Prophecy, 1 Corinthians 15, 2 Thessalonians 2, the book of Revelation, etc. We should not limit our search for economic prophecies to these areas. Sometimes an economic element will pop up in a parable or an admonition when we least expect it. For example, Paul inserts lovers of money and lovers of pleasure in his list of attitudes of people of the last days in 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. The Olivet Prophecy in Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21 mentions very little about economic conditions. At the end, Yahushua speaks of famines as a sign of his coming. Matthew 24, verse 7. Called the third seal in Revelation 6, verses 5 through 6, and scarcity of food often results from declining economic circumstances. Later in the prophecy, Yahushua speaks of conditions before his return being like the days of Noah, describing them as a time when people will be conducting their affairs as normal, unaware of the great calamity that is about to befall them. Matthew 24, verses 37 through 39. He goes on to speak of people taken in the midst of their everyday work. Matthew 24, verse 40 through 41. He does not seem to describe a situation of total economic breakdown. Of course, the book of Revelation is the New Testament's main prophetic source. Because it often deals in symbols, some of its economic allusions are somewhat obscure. For instance, Yahushua castigates the Pergamos church or congregation for holding the doctrine of Baal in Revelation 2, verse 14, who hired out to Balak to curse Israel for money. So Balaam's doctrine may have to do with preaching lies for financial gain. The problem of the church or congregation of the Laodiceans has its basis in their thinking that they are rich. Revelation 3, verse 17. Revelation 13, verses 16 through 18 contain the infamous mark of the beast, which allows those who accept it to buy and sell, making it an economic necessity to those who have no faith in Elohim. Many of the plagues of the last days will cause severe economic disasters all over the world. And the fall of Babylon, described in Revelation 18, triggers worldwide mourning as leaders, businessmen, and people of every class watch the whole system crash before their eyes. Yet after Messiah's return, bringing on the millennium and later the new heavens and new earth. See Revelation 21 through 22. The world will enjoy true prosperity for all eternity under Elohim's rule. This quick survey of economics and biblical prophecy should make us aware of the importance of watching for economic clues in Elohim's word. The world's economy is a huge factor in the geopolitics of nations, and this state of affairs will certainly continue until the return of Messiah. It bears our keeping a close eye on it.